Hey friend, it is Brandon Gustafson with Assisted Living Investing. Excited to have you here on the channel with me today. We're going to be talking a little bit about, let me grab my microphone here. We're going to be talking a little bit about, do you need an attorney to help you out through the licensing application process? I saw this question on a few different Facebook groups, and I thought I'm going to do a quick video on it and kind of help you out through the process. Before we jump into that though, make sure you go over to the website if you have not already and download the free underwriting calculator. We'll have a ticker here across the bottom of the video as we go through things today. But assistedlivinginvesting.net/calculator is where you're going to be able to get access to that calculator. Now let's jump over here to our screen, and we're going to talk again. Do you need an attorney to obtain your facility license? While you're kind of getting up and running as you go through the process there. Oh, sorry. Trying to figure out hotkeys here. Okay, so my background, if you've not watched any of my videos before, my name is Brandon Gustafson. I own and operate two assisted living facilities. I operate them out of state and kind of go through that process. I started this in 2020, have learned the process, documented the process, and created the channel to help people like you learn the ins and outs of investing in assisted living. So that's what we're here to do and help you out through the process. If you're here live, I'd love to hear from you. Make sure you comment down below newbie if you are new, and if you are a seasoned operator but you're kind of looking to do something like this for the first time, then comment operator. I would love to see who's here watching the video with us today. So what is a facility license? Let's start there. So really there are two types of licenses, or there's a few different types of licenses that you need to be aware of. One is a care home. So a care home is the most basic, and I've got a few videos that are going to be coming out here in the next few weeks around care homes and what they are, how they work. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you get notified when those things come up on the channel, so you can kind of get a better overview of exactly what a care home is. But there's a care home, which is the basic level, typically up to 4 to 6 residents. Then you're going to have a residential assisted living, which is, if you're watching this channel, you've probably heard of that. But that is also a residential home, but it's licensed for more residents, up to 16 to 20, depends on the state where you're at. And then above that, you've got an assisted living facility, which is kind of the more commercial one that a lot of people, the general public, is going to think of. And these are houses or really larger facilities that are going to have multiple people that are there and kind of working, being served. 20 plus people is how many are going to be there working or residing at that type of a facility. There's different classifications of facility, different types of services that you would be rendering to different types of people. You could have memory care, you could have just kind of standard assisted living. You can get into going deeper into skilled nursing, which is just another one beyond that. And you could have lower levels of care, like independent living. You could be doing something like what I do, where I serve a population that deals with mental health. You could be doing sober living. A lot of these different types of licenses actually kind of fall under the same umbrella. They're going to be typically the same application. You just are checking a few different boxes as you go through the process of filling out that application. So that's something you just kind of want to be aware of as you get into this. The application process itself, there's a lot there. There's a lot that you are going to be working on and going through, but it's going to be relatively similar regardless of the level of care, the type of care that you are providing. You're just going to be putting that different type of information there on the application. And you're going to be working with the health department as you work on your application. You're going to be working with them. That's the person that you're going to be talking with the most and who you're going to be submitting that into so that you can obtain your license. So the application process, what does it look like? There's a form or multiple forms that you're going to have to fill out. They are going to be canned forms for your state, but they will be different for each state. A lot of the same questions. And the nice thing about this is if you are working to get funding, it's a lot of the same questions. It's going to be on a different form, but the questions that the state is asking you to obtain your license and the questions that a bank would be asking you to fill out so you can get financing from them, there's going to be a lot of crossover there and a lot of the same type of information that you're going to be answering. So that's kind of a nice thing that you're going to be able to do that with as you work on filling out those forms. They, I would say, I've seen them from like 3 to 10 pages. It really is going to depend on which, how long the form is, what your state has, and the type of information. Different types of facilities or different types of people that you might be servicing might have different addendums to those application forms. But generally, you're looking at a 3 to 10 page thing, kind of basic information that you're going to be filling out when you go through that process. There are a couple of things that you're going to have to do, though, when you are, in addition to filling out the forms. There's going to be an inspection that you're going to have. And typically that's going to come from somebody at the city. So it could be somebody with the city zoning and planning department, or you could be having the fire marshal come out and look at the house, or both. But what the health department wants to see in this application is that the house is functional, can function as an assisted living facility, as a assisted living home, as a care home. It's going to have that information. Uh, they're going to be looking for that through those inspections, and that's kind of their way of doing it. You may have the health department go out and look at the house. I haven't experienced that, but I've heard of people that have had the health department come out and also do an inspection on the house. So you might have a few different inspections that come out, and then you would just be taking that inspection report and handing it off to the health department in addition to your forms. And then the other big one with this, and if you have been researching assisted living for any length of time, you have heard of policies and procedures. This is your book of policies and procedures, the things that you're going to follow as you are up and running your facility. So you're going to be handing all of that information, creating all of this, and it's going to be 100, 200-300 page document book that says this is what we're going to do in this situation, this is what we're going to do in that situation. I did a video a few weeks ago about an inspection that we had at the state where they wanted our policy on how we dealt with human waste. So basically, if somebody vomited, how are we going to handle that? And it was not a policy that we had in place at the time, so I had to quickly go in and adjust it and use ChatGPT to help me generate a policy for it. But those policies and procedures, you're going to have to hand those into the state as a part of your application process, and they need to adhere to the different state regulations that are going to exist as well. So there's going to be a huge list, and you can talk to the health department for this, but it's going to be a 20-page document with each statute that the state has that you need to follow, and there's a lot of federal regulations there as well. You need your policy to be written to address that statute and then reference that statute as well. So in my course, we're going to be talking about that a lot. So if you haven't already, get over to the website, assistedlivinginvesting.net, scroll down and get on the waiting list for the accelerator course, because that's something that we're going to talk a little bit about in there, and how to build out those policies and procedures and help you out through the process, help you out through your journey to starting your own assisted living and get you on the path to ownership. We'll be releasing that hopefully here in a couple of months. I'm thinking in January. So get on the wait list now, and you'll get a special offer that will come out through that as well. Now let's talk about, do you need an attorney? That's the topic of the video, and the answer to that is no. You really don't need an attorney. I would say you could consider having them go in and review your application, maybe review your policies and procedures if you really wanted to, just to see if there's any concerns you need to be aware of, or as you're going through that application, that form, and you're like, oh, that's kind of a weird question. What does that mean? Go ahead and talk to an attorney, but you can fill this out. It's a lot of kind of basic information um, that an attorney isn't going to know. You're the one that's going to know it. It's going to, your information, your contact information, where the house is going to be, what population you're going to be serving, how you're going to be doing that, how many residents you're going to have in the house. Those are some of the questions that you're going to be asked through that application. And there's not really a need for an attorney to get involved as you are working on that application. What I would say is you would probably want to engage an attorney as you are setting up your business, your legal entity, you might consider, I highly suggest that you do that, to make sure you have the correct business structure in place, whether it's an LLC, a sole proprietorship. And I can't remember, I've recorded a video for this. I don't know if it's released on the channel yet or not, around LLCs versus sole prop. I think I just recorded it, so it'll come out here in the next few weeks. So subscribe if you're interested in learning a little bit more about that and how it is relevant to the assisted living world. That's going to kind of help you out through that process as well. So I would engage an attorney for that. But for filling out your application, getting your license in place, I don't think you need to talk to an attorney for that. I think you can do it by yourself. Or you could engage if you're just kind of confused, you don't know how to do it, and you're not sure how to answer the questions, you want to make sure it's done correctly, then talk to somebody like me that can kind of coach you through that process. If you get over again to the website assistedlivinginvesting.net, you can apply for a mentorship. Just scroll down there on the website and fill out that mentorship application. And then we can do a free discovery call. I can do a couple of calls for free, do a little bit of coaching with you before we ever start working on anything, just to make sure it's a good fit. And then it's totally up to you if you want to work with me or not. So if you're interested in that type of an arrangement, then get over to the website and fill out that mentorship application, and we'll go from there as well. Now let's talk a little bit about what else you need to be aware of. So you're likely going to need to have possession of the house before the application. Now that doesn't mean that you have to own the house necessarily. It just means that you're going to need to be able to get in and access the house. So if you are leasing from somebody, you're going to need to talk to that landlord and say, hey, I need to fill out the application so that I can start operating here at the facility at your house, start operating my facility at your home. In order to do that, I need to have somebody come in and do an inspection on it, just to make sure everything is up to date. Can we coordinate that? If you are looking to buy an existing home, you know, looking to actually purchase one and do a conversion, or you're looking to purchase an existing facility and take over operations for that, you're going to work with the person that you're purchasing the house from, and make sure you have those proper inspections. So you don't have to actually own the house. In fact, I would encourage you to do all of this before you own the house. But you are going to need to have access to the house so you can have the proper inspections on the house before you do that. Because the thing you do not want to happen is to go and buy the house and then start talking with the city, zoning and planning, to make sure that you're zoned correctly and can do things, and then you find out that there's some huge waiting list, some big problem for why you can't rezone it, and now you have all these dreams to start an assisted living house, and they get squashed because it's impossible for you to do the zoning for the house. So you want to make sure that you are doing this properly. That's the first step that you need to do, is figure out what zoning requirements are, where you want to be operating your facility, operating your home, and make sure you get all of that in place. So that's a huge one that you need to do before you kind of get started on this. And then as you go through that, you just need to recognize that they may come back to you with questions as you are going through the application process. As you fill out your policies and procedures, they're going to ask you to clarify things. They're going to tell you, especially with your policies and procedures, that doesn't work. We need to adjust it here. In Idaho, we had to do this back and forth with them about 3 times. And it got to the point where I had a handful left, and I just wasn't sure what they wanted. And so I got on the phone with them for probably 2 hours, and we just hammered it out together and got the policies and procedures where it needed to be, which was excellent. Just so appreciative of the people in Idaho for helping me out with that and going through that process. But it's just something you just need to recognize, that it's okay if they come back to you with questions or need more information and need to get more, help you out through that process. They want to make sure that you're successful. I've talked about this several times as well. They don't want you to fail. They want to have you. They want to help you out through the process. So make sure you are just expecting that those conversations are going to happen, and then be receptive to those conversations as well. If you are here live, I'd love to hear if you have any questions, so make sure you chat those down below. We'll answer those before we head out. If you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell. We're going to be doing these live sessions going forward. Tuesdays around this time is when I'm hoping to to do that going forward. I think it's a good time that works for me, and then I can be pretty consistent with getting these lives out. So like the video, subscribe, and ring the bell so you get notified when we get more of that information out here on the channel. And if you are a newbie here, type newbie, comment newbie down below. And if you are a seasoned operator, just type in operator down below there as well. I want to thank you for being here with me on our live session today. I love doing these and excited to see where we grow together and how I can help you out through the process. Does a residential assisted living sound interesting to you, but you don't know how to get started? At residential assisted living or at assistedlivinginvesting.net, we are here to help you through the process, start to finish. Well, thank you again for watching. Hope you have a great Tuesday, and we will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.